Good evening to everyone from Belgium. I am doing my Tuesday tea time here just after my Belgium clinic has finished. And it's almost 9 o'clock at night here. I know it's about noon back home on the Pacific coast of the US where I usually am, but I try and keep these Tuesday tea times as consistent as possible. So today I wanted to tell you guys a little bit of a story about something that was kind of fun that happened in my clinic here this weekend in Belgium. Because of the way the schedule worked out, there was some time for me to do some demos. And I was given this beautiful black mare to work with for my demonstrations. Now, I've never met this horse before. I don't know her at all. And as I want to impress people, when she fell asleep, I wanted to provoke her into a state of curiosity, into a state where she would interact with me more. And I ended up sort of irritating her. I came on too strong, too fast, and instead of provoking her to be more interested and curious, I provoked her into defending herself. It wasn't anything terrible. She just kind of got angry with me. And I realized I really needed to change something. And so this started a whole interesting conversation about whether we choose to wait for behaviors to shape in the horse or whether we choose to cause behaviors. Now, obviously, most horse training is about causing behaviors. And I think of myself as a horse trainer, so when I give a demo, that's what I tend to do. But when you have a horse that is resistant to your ideas of how you want to cause behavior change, you're left with a really interesting thing. Do you force them to allow you to change them? Or do you step back and do you wait a little bit? So I started playing with some things like, okay, so she's taking a nap. What happens if I practice balancing on one foot? It's kind of silly, makes everybody laugh, entertains people who are watching the demo, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off the fact that the horse is still asleep. And it created some story time, and we got to play a little bit. And interestingly, it did have sort of a subtle causation effect of some more curiosity from this mare. Now, as soon as I got that little bit of curiosity, I then decided to not cause anything. Instead of causing something, I chose to simply respond to every flick of an ear she offered me. So I would stand patiently with my feet just like hers, looking in the same direction, paying attention to the same things that she was, noticing her, but really just waiting for the next thought that she showed that I could respond to. And then when she gave that flick of an ear, I would take one step just to show her that I saw it and I responded to it, and then I waited for the next one. And the idea was to spend more time waiting for her to offer thoughts and curiosity and a little less time causing it. Now, I'm still a trainer, I'm still doing a demo, so there were times when I was still going to try and cause something, but I had to do it in a subtle enough way that she didn't get irritated. Now, through this demo, I thought, maybe nothing's going to happen. Maybe I just tell stories and this horse sleeps the whole time, and I work really hard not to irritate her. And that's mostly what the demo was. But at the end of the demo, there was a little bit of a change in the environment, and she woke up and she was curious, and we took a little walk together, and I opened the gate and we went and found her halter, and the engagement that she offered me freely without having to provoke it was far more gratifying than anything I could have caused. Now, I did cause some focus changes. I did provoke her in subtle ways. But then I also spent a lot of time responding to the thoughts she had that I didn't provoke, that I didn't cause. And I am starting to feel like more and more of the time, that stuff that we respond to that we don't cause is actually the stuff that really makes a horse feel fully free to choose their own destiny, to choose their own relationship, to choose their own interaction. This ability to choose what they want to do with their life, that blossoms into curiosity about what they could do with the person who's responding to them, this is far more interesting to me than all the things I could cause. I am really glad that I know how to cause behavior change. I'm really glad that I've been a horse trainer who focused on causing change. But now I am a lot more interested and interesting if I focus on what the horse offers freely and how to respond to those offers so that I get more of them, and how to respond to the things that come up naturally so that they blossom into more. Now, this isn't my idea. This, comes from clicker training and the idea of scan and capture. The only difference is I'm not working with high-value food motivators. And so the shaping of these behaviors is much more subtle if we don't have the food motivators to put on top of them. It's still basically the same idea of scan and capture, but with a little more subtlety. And that's really exciting to me. So thank you, Miriam. I'm glad you like that idea. It's something that we talked about a lot throughout my clinic here in Belgium. And the idea that the horse is offering things all the time. And how you respond to that, how you interact with that, is going to shape the things that they offer in the future. It's going to be a lot slower than causing things, absolutely. There's a time and a place for causing things. But it's really interesting to me to see what blossoms, what develops, what's interesting between a horse and a human when we put a little bit more emphasis on waiting for the behaviors they offer instead of trying to cause the behaviors we've already thought about. So those are my thoughts tonight for Tuesday Tea Time, and I hope that's helpful and interesting to you all. If you are interested in having me talk about a specific subject, please let me know. I keep an ongoing list of things people would like to hear me talk about more. If you're interested in an interactive conversation about something like this, once a month I'm holding a Zoom salon session for my Patreon members. So, we can all get together and talk about horse training on one subject or another. I am loving the fact that I have all of you as a community and that I get to travel around and learn from so many horses in the world. And I will be in France next week, and then I will be heading to Indiana after that. And then I'll be home for a couple of weeks, and then it'll be the Netherlands and Germany and Poland after that. So I look forward to seeing you guys all next week for tea, and onward and upward.